Hello guys, what's happening? Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. Kamalam Dungasive Mama, and I'm so pleased to finally be doing a sit down video. I've been intending on doing this for a while. Yeah, this is a topic that I've been thinking about for quite a while now. A few weeks ago, I saw a post of someone on my Facebook. Guys, I'm sorry about the noises. There will be some noises in the background. I thought to myself, if I'm gonna wait for it to be choop still in this house, then I'm never actually gonna get the time to shoot this video. So I was like, you know what, just do it. Whatever happens, happens. As long as the content is done, the content is up there. Girl must keep a promise. So that's what I'm trying to do, just to remain consistent. Yeah. So as I was saying, I saw a video in the past week or so. Someone was coming for the 4IR, and I was like, but why, and I realized that I didn't actually give this thing so much thought because I was so excited about this fourth industrial revolution and what it means for us as South Africans. But then I realized, man, something is not right about this. How is this thing going to work in a South African context, taking into consideration everything, and also just how our own education system has been set up, Cool. So I decided to, do a video, and I want you guys' input as well. Do you think it's gonna work? Do you not think it's gonna work? And let's sit down. Let's talk about it. Right. I made some notes because I wanted to speak facts, and of course this video will be based on facts and also opinion. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first point I want to talk about is decolonization. So this has been an ongoing topic that we've been hearing for quite a while, especially at the time of the student uprisings. Students are calling for free education as well as a decolonized education. But I feel like many of us still weren't sure exactly right? So I got on the net and I tried to find a very simple definition that can be understandable to both you and I. Okay, so it says decolonization is the dismantling of colonial systems that were established during the period of colonization. I tried to simplify it a bit for us. Okay, so it's basically dismantling of colonial systems that were established during the period of colonization. It's basically, for my understanding, was that why do we have to do things the way that Abelungu had taught us to do things? Why do we still have an education system that teaches us Romeo and Juliet? Why do we still have an education system that teaches us science that we can't relate to, right? I think the most important thing is why are we learning history through English? And why is it that we're only learning Isngesi, or rather e-history, or rather mostly e-history, or the history content is based on things that happened in Europe, Asia, China, and it's really, really, really far-fetched from us, I feel like there's a deeper history to Africa and South Africa that needs to be tapped into. And at this point in time, the content that is being taught in South Africa is pretty much unrelatable to us, right? So yeah, so I think the most important thing is for us to be able to learn each and every subject in a context that is relatable to us, like I'm saying, right? If we're talking about science, I remember at the time there was a UCT student, I don't know what the name was, who said, why is it that we are not taught black magic? I'm sure there must be an explanation as to how is it that ebusuku uyakwazi bana uthiwa umuntu bana, what's the word, uthwelwe, no, not uthwelwe, what's the word, okay, damn. Anyway, y'all know how black magic operates. It's not foreign to us, right? There must be a science behind that, and that's the kind of thing that we need to know, right? Also, if you think about how the education system is set up, and the fact that matriculants need to write the matric exams in English, when many of our kids are even struggling to understand the language, then why are we teaching our kids those things? I feel like it's much more easier. It would be much more easier for us to teach learners content that they can relate to. I don't know, I'm struggling with this one, but anyway. So when they were speaking about decolonization, they were speaking about decolonization at a higher level of education, but if you think about it correctly, I don't think it only has to do with higher learning, because at the end of the day, yes, there's your chemistry, there's your history, there is your technology, there is so much more that learners eskolweni from the whole schooling careers that they can be taught so that by the time you get to matric, you know, everything that you have taught has got something to do with you, your own upbringing, and how you yourself view yourself as a Black South African child. Am I making sense? Am I talking shit? I hope I'm making sense. Anyway, so the question then became, how are we going to source the content? Like, even for me now, as I'm talking to you guys in this video, you can clearly realize that I really don't have much background knowledge on the kind of content that needs to be taught, but I do know that the content that is being taught is really unrelatable to us as South Africans, right? So obviously it's going to take a lot of research, science and academic collaboration in order for us to get that kind of information, and that is the kind of information that needs to be served to our learners in schools and also university students, right? So we need to create that space of academic collaboration. The research needs to be done, the science needs to be found, all of this stuff that we can relate to as Africans, right? So I think also it's important for us to be a country that has its own independent knowledge. Yes, there is some knowledge about South Africa, but is it sufficient to carry a child through straight from grade 1 right through matric? Is it? And I guess that also answers the question of why we don't only learn about South African content in the curriculum, because there is not much information, right? So I think for me, the most important thing is for us to do the research, to find those things out, and also the academic collaborations need to come about. And I think that this would be a great way for South Africa to create employment, especially taking into consideration that there is a huge number of unemployed graduates, and unemployed graduates in all fields, right? So how about you utilize those students who are sitting at home with no jobs to dig and research content that can be taught in the new curriculum. Make sense? I hope so. And also, just another thing is, as Africans, why are we always trying to go ahead with global practices when clearly it's not working for us? It's not working for us. And that's why our learners are failing dismally in high school, and that's why the matric pass rate is so bad, because the things that are being taught are not taught in our context, right? So I think this thing of, okay, no, we need to go into the 4th industrial revolution because now we're going into the digital age and we need to be up to date with what all the other countries are doing. First of all, how about we first fix our mess before we want to go fucks around with other people's things that are working for them? Let's find something that works for us firstly, and this is going to help us and assist us in this thing of a very bad matric pass rate. We can't always just keep on by no pass rate for in mathematics to 20% now. No. Teach kids maths the way that Egyptians were being taught maths. How's about that? How's about we stick to that? How's about we keep on just what's the word I'm looking for? Keep on developing, not developing. There's another word I'm looking for. English is not my mother tongue. It's gone now. But also, like, keep developing from where they left off. I'm sure that there are many people with good brains in this country that would be willing to come about, collaborate, and create a curriculum that will work for us instead of going into the 4th IR. And you know what? So it's been said that academics must change what they teach and how they teach it. Educators need to change what they teach and how they teach it. But if we're saying that we want to change things and we're going into a new curriculum, are we really serious about going into the 4IR when the 4IR requires science? The 4IR requires it's intense: science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And those are all the subjects, and those are all the subjects that our kids are doing badly in. So what makes us think that our learners are going to be able to survive the 4IR when they are failing to count, when they're failing to pass physics, What makes us think that they're going to be able to manage coding and robotics when, first of all, our kids don't even have access to computer labs in their schools? You ask learners in matric now to apply for grade 12. They can't. They don't do it because they are on the computers. So now if you're talking about the fourth industrial revolution, we don't have the resources, chap. We really don't. And also, so just to give you a background about what the fourth industrial revolution is about, the fourth industrial revolution is said to be a technological revolution that will completely change how we live, right? So here we are talking about a fusion of different technologies, like I said, physical science, digital, biological spheres, everything. This is basically having robots do the work that we do, right? This is basically having cars as a Zambelai. What does this say about employment in South Africa? I mean, we already have a very, very high unemployment rate. So now, if you're going to hire robots to do the job for us, yes, fine, it's all good and well. You want us to be able to compete with the global market, whatever. I'm sure we can find ways to compete with the global market on our own account and in our own ways of doing things. Why must you always allow Why must you always try to fit in when they are the ones who are meant to be trying to fit in with us, because we are the ones with the resources, and therefore the resources are here. We just need the right people and the correct people to find those things for us and compile curriculum, compile izinto for South Africans. Hope I'm making sense. Oh yeah. So it's been said that for the fourth industrial revolution, we need to rethink education and the purpose of education. So now, when I read this came from some websites online. I can't remember what the site was called, but if you're saying that we must rethink the purpose of education, for a South African child, the purpose of education is for you to become employable. Like, you go to school because you're told that if you're fundile and you go to school, you'll be able to find a job one day. I think besides gaining knowledge, that's the most important thing. For us, it's to gain knowledge for you to be employable. So now, you're telling me to go to school, learn coding and robotics, so that I can get a robot to work, and I must do what? Maybe I'm misinformed, but that's just how I perceive it, okay? It's my opinion after all, like I said. Right? So the fourth industrial revolution would mean that we need to improve in science, technology, and maths. How do you improve in science and technology using a new curriculum when the already existing curriculum of science, maths, and technology we are failing dismally in? And the question that you must be asking yourself is, why are learners failing dismally in these subject matters or other subjects? It's because it's unrelatable to us, right? Okay, so yeah, so this site further goes on to say that we need to develop human potential ability. This is now for the 4IR. We need to develop human potential ability to interact socially. First of all, our kids are unable to. Okay, I'm stereotyping now. I'm generalizing now, but I would like to think that this is what I've gathered from the majority of places. And I'm talking to you about learners in the rural areas who are not confident to come anywhere in public and speak English. So now, if you're telling them that they must be able to interact socially, how? Abantwana bethu are failing to comprehend Isingesi. And that is why they are failing matric exams. Because 6 of their examinations, if not them excluding their mother tongue, is written in English. And they're struggling to comprehend the questions themselves. So now, do I think the 4IR is going to work? Perhaps. Now? No. How? It's not going to work if we do it according to how they want us to do it. I think the most important thing for us is to, right now, find a curriculum that speaks to Black African children, that they are able to interact with, contextualize, comprehend, as well as relate to. Once we have achieved that, then those same minds will be the minds that will be able to get into the 4IR with their own, in their own way, using their own ideas, and I'm sure we'll be able to compete with the global market once we have mastered that. Okay, I could be wrong. I'm just giving my opinion, but tell me guys what you think. If you think I'm talking shit, A, B, C, D, just comment down below. Tell me what you think. Do you think it's gonna work? Do you think it's not gonna work? Should we change the curriculum at this point? And should we change it into the 4IR? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and follow me on all social media pages. I love you and goodbye.